add bicycle lanes, sidewalks, streetscape, street lighting, and there are many multiple partners and stakeholders involved in the project. At this point, we do have design complete from US 41 to I-75 for both a 6-lane and 4-lane section, although we are looking for more of a 4-lane section initially for portions of US 41 to I-75. As many of you know, a lot of investment has been made to date. There's been questions in the past, well, what has the county or others done to date on River Road? And the answer is quite a bit. Since 2002, there was a joint project with Charlotte County to improve Winchester Boulevard, or actually create Winchester Boulevard from Charlotte County and to connect to River Road, about a $10 million project. We've had a lot of right-of-way acquisition and exchange agreements to the tune of about $21.9 million of value for right-of-way acquisition north and south of US 41. West Villages Parkway was signalized by the developer in 2010. The cost of that project, or the value, is estimated at $5.9 million. We do have construction plans that were completed from 41 to I-75, and that cost was about $4.5 million. We had the ultimate build out of the intersection of US 41 and River Road back in 2014. That was completed around $9.4 million. That involved a multi-party agreement with the county, the city of Northport, and the West Villages Improvement District, and also most recently a stormwater development agreement with West Villages Improvement District with about a $900,000 value attached to that. This is a little harder to read. This is just a summary slide, really illustrating the overall route that this connector takes, basically from River Road, from I-75, across US 41 to Winchester Boulevard, and then down south Winchester Boulevard to Charlotte County. Sometimes there are misunderstandings. People think that it's River Road all the way to Inglewood and doesn't take that southerly jog to Winchester Boulevard. And we've had to educate FDOT and some others that it's this particular route that we are looking at for funding as the regional interstate connector and the hurricane evacuation route. The various segments shown on the screen are broken down into more discrete segments. The check marks by design indicate what we have designed already. And the right-hand side is a rough order, not a rough order of magnitude, but an order of magnitude cost estimate for each of those segments. I'd say the more rough or planning level estimate is the US 41 to Winchester Boulevard piece, which has not been designed at this point. And also an additional 2 lanes to add to Winchester Boulevard, estimating around $14 million. We added this slide when Sarasota County has been advocating for this project this year in particular. We've been doing it many years, but this year in particular to our state legislature in Tallahassee. This particular slide actually illustrates the Charlotte County improvement that was done south of the Charlotte County line. It's your Winchester Boulevard extension from 776 south to Placida Road, and we were using this to illustrate to FDOT at the state level and to our legislators. It truly is a regional project that the Charlotte County Commission has already made a commitment and actually built the project to 4 lanes down south, and that was completed July 28 to 2015. So we're using this to make the point to continue it north and to continue that link up to I-75, in addition to large-scale development that's going to be taking place with West Villages Improvement District. This slide was provided by Mr. Marty Black with West Villages Improvement District, just to illustrate graphically the size and scope of the development coming in, some of the internal roadway network that's going to be taking place. And it's very hard to see, but in the very center of the screen, just above the words West Villages, that's the planned location of the Atlanta Braves spring training facility. So in the midst of everything that we're talking about, the Cape Bays Peninsula, existing developments, we also have West Villages and the potential for the Braves Stadium, which is this point. So there's a lot going on in and around River Road. These are also provided by the developer of West Villages. These are just some numbers to illustrate it, ultimately what the build-out will look like in this area. The red that indicates West Villages is a summation of total of those developments underneath, some of which are West Villages, some of which are separate. So you can see West Villages at 25,000 or so units, with additional developments that are already, many of those are under construction right now and heading towards a build-out condition. Also on the bottom, you'll notice, in addition to those residential numbers, about 3.2 million square feet of commercial was also provided by Mr. Black with the West Villages Improvement District. So the point is, there's a lot going on with River Road, and we are strongly encouraging our legislative folks to provide funding towards this project. The good news is to date that both the House and the Senate have approved budget line items for River Road, although albeit in different appropriations right now, and it's heading towards conference committee. As part of our strategies towards River Road, we are looking to working out a partnership agreement with West Villages Improvement District for essentially one of the first major portions to be widened and improved from US 41 up through and including West Villages Parkway, and probably about 1,500 feet to 2,000 feet north of West Villages Parkway to provide an adequate roadway transition. And our goal is to enter into an agreement with West Villages for mobility fee credit considerations. This would also be a multi-party agreement with Sarasota County, City of Northport, and West Villages. That's in progress as we speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're so pleased to see this, and I just share with you that our commission and our MPO has supported this as your #1 priority, literally before you had it as a priority. And you know, from our point of view in Charlotte County, we work cooperatively with the folks in Lee County because we've been making major efforts to open up Burn Store Road, which is at the southern terminus of Charlotte County, because it's the #1 evacuation route for Cape Coral. And on the other side here, if you want to go all the way down to Placida Road, that road's got to be widened all the way down to provide, and it's all in Sarasota County, but it would provide greater access to the hospital and also greater ingress and egress from the whole Cape Hayes area, as the only other alternative is to go out that way when you're leaving. So I'll share with you, and I'm newly elected chairman of the NPO, we have, what is it, Robert, 4 or 5 years we've been supporting this as your #1 priority, but also our commission is very much on board. So we're excited about hearing this. We think it's a positive thing, and I think, you know, I certainly can't speak to my colleagues here, but you know, I think you can feel very comfortable that we will be as supportive as we possibly can to put a regional facet on this to help your funding on the project.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, just real briefly, this partnership, Sarasota County, City of Northport, and West Villages, for folks who watch us on TV, this is a second act for the very partnership that built out the entire intersection of River Road and 41. And when that developer's agreement is accomplished, I know, Isaac, please add that to that 52-point-something million for our friends in the state legislature who ask how much skin the local jurisdictions have in this game.
Yes, sir, thank you. Our funding strategies moving forward. The good news is the entire corridor, essentially from 41 to I-75, is on the MPO's major project priority list, the financially feasible plan. It is a little bit further out, 2025, 2030, and 2040. That's why we're pursuing every avenue we can now before we get to those years. Also, both the Charlotte County and the Sarasota Manatee MPOs did put River Road as a #1 priority for TRIP funding, retroactive TRIP funding. So we put in an application. That application is in as we speak, and we're simply awaiting the results of what we may get back as a 50-50 match consideration. As I mentioned, we've got a lot of advocacy and outreach efforts going on, particularly this year. We're very hopeful to see what comes out of this budget cycle, to see if we do get some state funding towards River Road. And as I mentioned, we will also continue to pursue our opportunities with West Villages Improvement District and other partners as are appropriate in that area. And we do have an advanced right-of-way acquisition account that was created in the last couple of years through our county's capital improvement program. So we are pursuing additional right-of-way acquisition on River Road. We're going through the title work and appraisal process, the reappraisal process. It's been some time since we appraised those properties, so that's actually in progress right now. So obviously the next and future phases are the actual right-of-way acquisition along River Road, the construction along River Road during using this multifaceted approach, the Winchester Boulevard portion, adding an additional 2 lanes to complete the 4-lane section, And then one of the bigger missing pieces, the design and construction of River Road from Winchester to 41. We did complete a safety resurfacing earlier this year because the road was in pretty bad shape. That concludes my presentations. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Mr. Mayo?
Yeah, just for our friends in Charlotte County, the entire right-of-way from 41 to 7.